You're listening to The Money Hour with your host, Tina Mitchell, and co-host Keelan Harvey on Alternative Talk AM 1150. Now, back to the show with local mortgage experts Tina Mitchell and Keelan Harvey.
You are listening to The Money Hour on 1150 AM KKNW, the Friday, May 8th virtual show. Due to the COVID-19, we're temporarily going virtual. You can always listen. You can also listen to us on podcast, or you can catch us on air at Saturday at 3 p.m., rebroadcast on Sunday at 8 a.m. I am your host, Tina Mitchell.
And I am your co-host, Keelan Harvey.
We bring into studio each week the best of the best experts in all areas that have to do with your money. We're here to help you in today's economy. And now in studio, we have Doug Peterson of Get Priorities Straight. Now more than ever is a time to take control of your finances. Welcome, Doug. Welcome, Doug, to the show.
Hello. Now that I heard Kirsten, I'm sitting up straight. I'm open. Am I smiling? That was really great, Kirsten. Thank you.
Yeah, she's amazing. And a little bit about Doug. Over the last 20 years, Doug Peterson has helped people align their goals and visions, both personally and professionally. He founded Get Priorities Straight in 2018 to provide a program to help individuals maximize their personal income and improve their ability to invest. Having founded and run 8 businesses in his career, Doug has a perfect system that works regardless of your industry, marital status, or income. He is currently working with Amazon managers, wealth managers, real estate professionals, attorneys, and technology professionals. Doug also managed the band Before Dawn, who did backup vocals on Heart's first album, Dreamboat Annie.
Wow. Look at you, Doug. That's awesome.
Yeah, my 15 minutes of fame.
Hey, it's more than most, so that's awesome. That's fantastic. GPS. Let's talk about that a little bit. What is GPS, and what does GPS do for your clients? I see that awesome picture of GPS right behind your head there. Tell us more about it.
Well, I'm going to start by what we don't do. We don't do financial planning, we don't manage investments, and we don't sell any products or insurance. Our whole focus is how do we help you get 100% on top of your finances, go from being reactive to proactive, instead of looking back and saying that was an expensive month, planning ahead, deciding where all your money is going to go before you spend it. And we take the same thing into businesses. When people own their own businesses, we take the same principles. But if someone comes to me and says, I want you to do it with my business, but I don't want to do it personally, we won't do it. Because if you won't get your personal house in order, you're not going to be able to scale your business. The other
so true. And oh, go ahead, Doug. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say that so many people, there's a quote by John Maxwell that I really like. And he said, you either decide where your money is going to go or you wonder where it went. And so many people, the last thing they want to do is work on their finances. In fact, I hear several things often, and you'll hear it through this conversation, but one of them is, yeah, I really need to be more organized on that. But if I was honest, I'm never going to get around to it. So we do it for you.
Yeah, and that's so true. I love that. And people think about business coaching, but like you said, it's important to have a financial coach as well. And what a great coach is going to do is actually a resource to you for everything that you need. And I love that about you, Doug. We've had some chance to have some one-on-one conversations, and you are a connected guy when it has to do with everything that they're going to need to walk them through those things that they're going to do, whether it's the real estate or the CPA or the mortgage or the estate planner and all of that. So Doug, let's talk about why you do this.
Well, I spent the last 20 years doing executive mentoring and coaching. And a lot of people, I have my own definition of mentoring and coaching. Mentoring for me is helping people get where they want to go. Coaching is helping people win the game. And they're different in my view. Mm-hmm. So through that, I probably helped 25 or more executives who were having trouble with their personal finances. It was affecting their health, it was affecting their marriage, and it was affecting their business. And at this stage of my life, I thought, what do I want to do now? I've done this for 20 years. I've got 2 grandkids. I'm having a great time. I wanted to make a bigger impact on people personally. So I focused on the biggest challenge I've had throughout my life, and communication around money, deal with being an entrepreneur for 37 years and the financial ups and downs. When things are great, it's the best job ever. But when things aren't good, you really wish someone else was in charge because it's not going well. And so I decided that there's a solution to this. This is something you can win 100% if you learn how to play the game. So I teach people, first of all, I don't teach them how to set it up because you only have to set it up once if you do it right. So I set it all up and then I just teach them how to manage it. And we even have a personal CFO program where we help you stay accountable over time for both your business and personal if you want your business involved as well.
Such a great service that you're providing to the community, Doug. And I love also how you actually go through, if you've got a spouse, you're going through a difference of personality and how you manage and go through things so that you can bring them together. So really detailed at the coaching and the mentoring process that you go through.
Yeah, the thing she's referring to is this Motivators Assessment. We all have different styles, and we can pretty easily tell that Tina's not the introvert. And we can probably tell she's more people-focused than task-focused. So that's kind of the whole DISC profile, and it's observable. What isn't observable is the decision-making filters, it's the motivators behind why we do things. And I can take couples that have actually been at odds and have them shift from a comment of, you're just doing that to annoy me, to, oh, put it that way, sure. Because if we understand what's motivating other people and not try to sell them on our ideas and why we think it's important, they get it. Now, the key is it only works once if you manipulate, because people are smart and they can tell. So don't use it for that. It just doesn't work long term.
That's great advice, Doug. What can people do with their finances specifically? How can you help your clients? And what would you suggest for our listeners out there listening today on what they should be doing with their finances?
You know, it's a very broad question. So the answer is just like an attorney. It depends. However, right now, we're in a situation where cash is king. So even so often people go, gosh, I just want to pay down that debt. Gosh, it's expensive interest. But it depends. If you're tight right now, you're not sure if your business is going to be doing less or recover very quickly. Cash is king. So we need to figure out how can we conserve cash. If you're not looking to refinance right away, you might want to do the forbearance on a mortgage. You might want to get a PPP loan, but you've got to get all of it together. Stephen Covey said, if you're going to change the world, clean your garage first. The thing they should do right now is figure out exactly what it costs to live, add up all those infrequent expenses, and start setting aside money for that, because Christmas will come. And you will want to take a vacation, and your car will need some maintenance. And the list goes on and on. There's insurance policies, yard maintenance, home maintenance. Hey, we saved, my blog post this much says, I bet you saved for a vacation this year, or some fun, or maybe for a pandemic. Yeah, we didn't save for that pandemic. We need liquid emergency funds so that we can get through. If we don't have, and often people think liquidity is a credit card. It's amazing. I have people with finance degrees saying, I need more liquidity, so I'm going to pay down my credit card. That's debt. So once we've taken care of the emergency fund, we know what it costs for us to live, and we know that we can last for a while. Then we start looking at strategies of how can we reduce any interest rates and get out of debt completely. I just had a client, we just refinanced a HELOC, a home equity line of credit. It was at 4.75%, $83,000. We refinanced to get $250,000. It's now at 4.25%, and he paid off $110,000 worth of debt at 18%. It paid about 4 times, just that one transaction. And he learned how to manage.
Yeah, and that's what. There you go. That's what a money coach can do for you. So let's talk about building confidence in an uncertainty environment, especially when it comes to money confidence.
You know, this goes back to my mentoring work, because confidence is a direct result of predictability. Think about it. You just broke your leg and your leg's in a cast, and somebody asks you to go for a 3-mile hike up a hill. How confident do you feel you can do that? But if I ask you to go for a half-a-mile walk on a beautiful afternoon, you have 100% confidence. So you can predict that you can do that well. People put their head in the sand around money. They don't want to look at it. They're afraid of the unknown. So the thing you need to do is look at it, figure it out. It's like calling Kirsten and saying, you need to tell me what I'm doing that I'm not aware of. I need to figure out where all my money's going and how much I have and how much I'm going to need. It's like doing a time management day where you look at your day and say, I'm going to do all these things. Well, what if you actually scheduled everything you have to do and you felt like there was so much time left, but there isn't? I go through this all the time. It's the weekend. I'll get so much done. I didn't get very much done. I got some stuff. You think we have so much time. So it's the same thing with money. Figure out just look at it, figure out where it is. And the big thing is, if you don't know what to do, get help. Whether it's someone like me or someone else that you know has mastered their money. Now, one thing you'll be surprised with is that not a lot of people have. There's an awful lot of people flying blind. Financial planners tell me people underestimate 50% of what they're spending. So if they're making 15, they think they're spending 10, they're spending 15. And another quote from several financial planners, 95% of couples are not on the same page financially. It's a big problem. And it's really exciting because I can take a lot of that stress and pressure off people so that they can focus on what they're really great at.
You know, Doug, I actually did financial planning, retirement planning for a Fortune 100 company. And the worst news I gave people is they thought they were fine and it was too late. And, you know, they got $100,000 in an IRA and they're, how we doing? And, you know, that's the toughest part of the job, trying to relay the news that it's a tough existence you're going to be living in. You should have started earlier. The earlier you start, the easier it is. And that window shuts quickly. The more effort you'd have to put into it when it actually counts. So, you know, take it seriously. You can't bury your head. You got to get after it, right?
Yeah. And the thing is, start now. It doesn't matter how long we've procrastinated. This is a big one. Start now.
I couldn't agree more. What about, let's talk some positives, Doug. What are you seeing that's positive now since this whole thing started and just in general?
Well, often just as humans, we don't do things until we have to. And so now people are saying, we need to deal with this. We need to clean our garage. We need to get our finances in order. We need to talk about this. I think that's going to be a very, very healthy outcome. I hope the government would listen to a little of this and maybe not spend what they don't have. But, oh, well, I think if we can make consumers be responsible, we're good.
Well, Doug, thank you so much for coming in studio, and thank you to all of you that are listening to the show today. I am your host, Tina Mitchell.
And I'm your co-host, Keelan Harvey.
We are your local mortgage experts. Enjoy the rest of your week and your weekend. We look forward to talking more money next week, right here at 11:50 a.m. KKNW.